Today we're going to do something a little different. We're going coast to coast. Philadelphia versus San Francisco. That's right, we're diving into the East Coast versus the West Coast. Two amazing cities, but which one is better for you? We'll be talking about everything from walkability to entertainment to culture and the vibe here. And trust me, some of these comparisons might actually surprise you. So which one's going to come out on top? Well, stick around and find out. Hey everyone, this is Chris Furman and welcome to my channel, Living in Center City, Philadelphia. If you're hoping to make a lifestyle change and are trying to figure out what it's like to live right here in Center City, Philly, then this is the channel for you. So make sure to tap that subscribe button below and click that notification bell right next to it so that you're notified each and every time we put out a brand new video just for you. And we actually get a lot of folks that are reaching out to us looking to relocate to the Center City, Philly area, and we love helping them out on their journey. So if you're thinking about making a move, have any questions about the market, the particular neighborhoods here, the condo buildings, or really anything at all, don't hesitate to reach out. Just shoot us a quick email to chris@meetchris.com. Now, before we kick off the battle here of San Francisco versus Philadelphia, I've got to be straight with you. In case it's not obvious, Philly is home for me. I live here, I work here, and yeah, I help people relocate here to Philadelphia all the time. So if I seem a little biased, well, it's because I am. But hey, I'm not going to sugarcoat anything for you, and I'll try to keep it as real as possible. Both cities have their perks and their drawbacks, and that's exactly what we're going to be diving in today. From walkability to job markets, entertainment, and beyond. We'll be hitting all the major points, and I'll try to give you as solid an overview here, but keep in mind, we are going to be doing a high-level overview here. So let's get into it and see where these two stack up. Let's kick things off with culture and vibe of these two cities. Because let's face it, the energy and the personality of a city are really important, more important potentially than a lot of other stats or figures when deciding where to live. Philadelphia is all about authenticity and grit. This is a city where people wear their pride on their sleeves. Walk down Broad Street or Market Street and you'll be surrounded by the energy of a place that doesn't just remember its history, it showcases it. From the iconic City Hall building, one of the tallest masonry buildings in the world actually, to the murals covering over 4,000 walls throughout the city. There's a real sense of community here, whether it's game day at the Lincoln Financial Stadium, where thousands of Eagles fans come together to cheer and tailgate and sometimes go crazy. Or if it's a Saturday morning at the Italian market, one of the oldest and largest open-air markets in America actually, where local vendors sell fresh produce, meats, and cheese, and a whole lot more. Philly's pride isn't just about its sports teams. It's in the food, the art, the everyday interactions that create a sense of community and identity here that really runs deep in Philadelphia. On the other hand, San Francisco is all about diversity, creativity, and innovation, a stark contrast to Philly's deep-rooted community-driven vibe here. San Francisco offers a more eclectic and progressive atmosphere. Walk through Mission District and you'll find vibrant murals celebrating the city's diverse cultural heritage, really a different energy from the historic brick row homes here in Philadelphia. San Francisco has spots like the Golden Gate Bridge and the Ferry Building. It's got the chill vibe where scenic views meet modern hustle. San Francisco obviously has a tech scene and that's very large here, especially in places like Soma, where you got startups and modern lofts that draw in the entrepreneurial crowd here. Now, when it comes to food, San Francisco's global mix of flavors, from its Chinatown dim sum to the fresh seafood offered at Fisherman's Wharf, really offers a more cosmopolitan experience here in San Francisco. So who has the edge? Well, it really depends on your personality and your preferences, what you're looking for. If you're drawn to a city that's constantly evolving, embraces new trends, and offers a diverse, fast-paced lifestyle, then San Francisco might be best for you. However, if you prefer a city with a strong sense of community, a rich cultural, historical identity here, an authentic atmosphere, Philly takes the win, in my opinion. Now, personally, I've got to give it to Philly for this one. There's nothing like the feeling of walking down a street where everyone knows the city's story and takes pride in it. But if you're seeking a fresh start, the energy of innovation, San Francisco might be better for you. All right, next up, let's talk about entertainment and nightlife. Philadelphia offers a lively nightlife scene here that feels connected to the city's local culture. Whether you're hitting up South Street for live music and dive bars or heading over to Fishtown, Philly's really new hub for trendier spots like craft breweries and gastropubs, you'll find a laid-back and vibrant atmosphere here. And here's the best part, it's actually affordable. You can grab a drink without breaking the bank here, with most places offering reasonably priced options compared to other larger cities like New York City or even San Francisco like we're talking about today. Now, another great thing about Philly is that these hotspots are highly accessible. If you're living in or around Center City, you could easily walk or bike or hop on SEPTA, the public transit system here, to get around and navigate the city really without too much hassle. You do not need a car to enjoy Philly's nightlife. Most entertainment spots are clustered within walking neighborhoods, really keeping things convenient and affordable. And if something is a little bit further outside of your particular neighborhood, just hop in Uber and you'll get there really quick. And if you appreciate the arts, we have a ton of that going on here. Anything from the Walnut Street Theater, the oldest operating theater in the US actually, and the Kimmel Center is here with performing arts, orchestra, and things like that. So there's a ton to do here if you really love the art scene. And of course, no mention of Philly's nightlife is complete without its food scene. Late night eats are a staple here, whether it's grabbing a classic cheesesteak from the famous Pat's and Gino's or another potentially better cheesesteak place. Hit me up if you need a couple of recommendations. Or if you're exploring one of the many BYOB restaurants here that offer a cozy local dining experience without, again, breaking the bank. San Francisco, however, takes a different approach. It has eclectic and diverse entertainment options. The city really does cater to a wide range of tastes here. If you want to go over to Mission District, you'll find everything from cocktail lounges to late-night taco joints. Union Square offers upscale rooftop bars and luxury lounges. Some of them are really nice. San Francisco is really a dynamic spot for live music enthusiasts as well. Iconic venues like Fillmore and Warfield attract big-name artists, really a hub for live performances here. However, getting around to enjoy these options often requires some planning. San Francisco's public transit system here, called the Muni or the BART, can be convenient during the day, but may not always run late into the night, making it a little bit less accessible compared to Philly's more centralized system. Plus, the city's infamous hills can make walking between places challenging. So rideshares or driving become really more necessary for a night out here in San Francisco. San Francisco is also known for its music, food, and art festivals that attract global artists and crowds, really offering a great experience here. But attending these festivals or dining out often comes at a premium. Ticket prices and food costs are generally much higher than in Philadelphia. Now, the city's food scene is incredibly diverse, like we've talked about, whether you're looking for fresh oysters at the Ferry Building, grabbing street food in Chinatown, or dining at one of the Michelin star restaurants here, you're going to find an array of flavors and an array of costs, typically, though, much more premium price tags than in Philadelphia. So, who has the edge here? Well, if you're looking for a little bit more of an affordable, accessible nightlife scene, it feels local and potentially more laid back, I think Philadelphia comes out on top. You could explore vibrant bars and art scenes without needing a car or spending a fortune here. But if you're drawn to a more diverse, cosmopolitan experience with a mix of upscale options, live music, and festivals, you will probably be drawn to San Francisco more than likely, as long as you're okay with that price tag. Let's move on to talk about walkability and public transportation. Now, when it comes to walkability, I think Philly has the edge here. The city's grid layout makes it really easy and intuitive to navigate, and most of the neighborhoods, especially orbiting around Center City, are very easy and pedestrian friendly. You can get to grocery stores, coffee shops, bars, and other essentials, all typically within a very short walk. Plus, the sidewalks are flat, none of the hill climbing stuff that you've got to deal with in other cities. It's a walkable city where you can get around without relying too much on a vehicle. San Francisco, on the other hand, is a bit of a mixed bag. Sure, you've got areas like Soma, the Mission District, and North Beach where you can walk to a lot of places, but the hills are no joke. You'll get a workout for sure, but if you're not into steep climbs, it's not always the easiest. That said, the city's got plenty of scenic routes, a lot walking along with awesome views of the bay, which is definitely a plus if you like that sort of thing. So while San Francisco can be walkable in certain areas, it's not as consistently easy as Philadelphia. When it comes to public transportation, Philly's SEPTA covers buses, trolleys, and subways. Now, it's not perfect, but it's reliable enough to get you where you need to go without a car. And it typically runs late, so you don't have to worry too much about getting stuck if you're out past midnight. Philly also has a bike share program here, and it's very easy, like we've already talked about, to walk around. So walk, bike, or getting on SEPTA, very easy to navigate. Now, San Francisco's Muni and BART system are also solid during the day and typically really helpful for getting around, especially downtown, the Mission District, and Castro. But after dark, it can be kind of tricky just depending on where you're going and the time of the day. It gets a little bit more sparse, so you gotta plan ahead, potentially a little bit more than you need to for Philly. Now, which one's better here? Well, if you want convenience and easy flat walks, Philly obviously wins hands down. Its transit system also runs a little bit later, so you've got the flexibility when you're out and about. San Francisco obviously has its perks, like we've talked about, but the hills and limited late night options might make it a little bit less practical for you, depending on what you're doing and how late you stay up. Let's talk about the cost of living, because it's a big factor when choosing a city to live in. San Francisco, as you probably are well aware, is regularly ranked as one of the most expensive cities in the country. And housing is a pretty large reason, and we're going to talk about real estate in just a little bit. According to NerdWallet, if you want to maintain the same lifestyle as someone earning $50,000 in Philly, you'll need a household income of over $82,000 in San Francisco. So pretty big difference. Groceries, dining out, and transportation are all pricier in San Francisco, making daily expenses tough to manage without a solid and really well above a solid income. Philly, on the other hand, is a whole different story. Philly's cost of living is much more affordable, especially when it comes to housing, which again, we'll get into real estate in a little bit. Now, daily living expenses here, like groceries, utilities, and transportation, are all much more manageable. NerdWallet's cost of living calculator even shows that the overall cost of living in San Francisco is 65% higher than Philadelphia. This makes Philly an excellent choice for those looking to live comfortably without stretching the budget too much and adding to their financial stress to their life. Now, who is the edge here? Well, I think it's clear that Philly comes out on top. If affordability is a priority to you, your money's going to go much further here in Philadelphia. Now, San Francisco offers more opportunities in certain industries like tech, but it's going to have to come with a significant price tag that is not easy to ignore. Let's talk about real estate. As we've said, San Francisco is very expensive and is really in a league entirely on its own. The median home price is going to exceed $1.3 million approximately, and buying a home is going to be out of reach for a lot of people, unless you're in a very high income bracket, often tied to the tech industry. Renting really isn't much easier here in San Francisco either, with the average rent for a one bedroom being $3,500 to $4,500, depending on the neighborhoods that you're looking at. Now again, this is just for a one bedroom. And competition can be really fierce in San Francisco, just depending on the neighborhood and the particular property. So it's not easy to get in, even if you do have all the money in the world. Philly, on the other hand, offers a much more accessible real estate market for both buyers and renters. The median home price here in all of Philadelphia is somewhere around $250,000, making home ownership a much more realistic goal for first-time homebuyers and those with moderate incomes. The city's diverse range of neighborhoods means there's something for every budget. Whether it's a historic row house in South Philly, a cozy condo in Rittenhouse, or a townhouse in neighborhoods like Fishtown or Northern Liberties. For renters, it's also a win, as we talked about. Typical rents are nearly half of what you'd pay in San Francisco, and there's a variety of housing styles and neighborhoods to choose from. It's my opinion that Philly strikes a very solid balance between affordability and lifestyle, appealing to everyone: young professionals, families, empty nesters, retirees, really everyone. Plus, since we talked about Philly's walkability earlier, it's worth noting that many of these housing options are within easy-to-reach areas of the city for public transit and different things like that to make it much more convenient to navigate the city. Now, who's got the edge here? Well, no surprises, Philly takes the win. Again, it offers a lot more flexibility and value, in my opinion, in the real estate market without the extreme price tag. With much lower home prices, it's going to give you a range of housing choices that cater to different budgets. Now, San Francisco has a lot of opportunities, just depending on what you're looking for. But again, it's going to come with a very steep price tag with a very fast-paced market. So if you're looking for a city where your money goes further and home ownership isn't just a distant dream, Philly is probably a much better choice for you. All right, let's talk about jobs next. Philly's job market is solid and diverse. We've got strong industries here like healthcare, education, finance, big names like Penn Medicine, CHOP, and we've got big universities like UPenn, Drexel, and Temple right here in the academia world. We also have a tech scene here in Philly. Now, it's nothing like San Francisco, but we do have a tech scene here that's been growing for the last probably 2 or 3 decades, and it's got a lot of room to grow. Now, San Francisco is a whole different ballgame. It is the place to be for tech, no doubt. You've got the big hitters here like Salesforce, Uber, Twitter, all of the Silicon Valley scene with Google, Apple, and Facebook. The tech jobs pay big. But let's be real, those high salaries are pretty much a must if you want to even try to keep up with the city's crazy cost of living here. Now, if you're not into tech, it's tough to make it work, in my opinion, financially because of the high cost of living. Now, obviously, it depends on what your goals are. But who has the edge here? Well, I think it is Philly for the most part, but if you're into tech in a particular sector in the tech industry, then obviously San Francisco may be better for you, at least for a season. But I find a lot of people actually come back to Philly once they get started in that tech scene or start here and then move out. So it's not necessarily where you have to be forever in San Francisco, even to be in the tech world and to make a name for yourself in the tech scene. Now let's talk about crime and safety. Like any big city, Philadelphia has areas with higher crime rates, especially in certain neighborhoods. But let's be real, Philly is a city of neighborhoods, and the experience can vary a lot. Areas like Center City, University City, Rittenhouse Square tend to feel much more safer with a lot of my clients that I take around. Now, as the city continues to grow, we're seeing improvements in some places that used to be considered maybe less safe. Really, it's all about knowing spots and where to be, what to stay away from, just like anyone would do in any other urban area. San Francisco, on the flip side, has its own set of challenges. Property crime is bigger in San Francisco, typically car break-ins, theft, things like that typically, especially in touristy areas. Neighborhoods like the Tenderloin can feel a little bit sketchy potentially due to visible homelessness and crime, but plenty of other spots like Pacific Heights and Noel Valley are much more safer with lower crime stats according to certain sites. Now, who is the edge here? Well, it's not an easy call. Both cities have their challenges, and some in different ways. If violent crime is a concern, San Francisco might feel safer overall, but really the prevalence of property crime and particular issues of homelessness that they aren't managing well might make it a little bit less desirable. On the other hand, Philly's crime tends to be more concentrated in specific neighborhoods, particular pockets of the area of the city. So if you know where to be, most people feel very safe in the city of Philadelphia. Let's talk about weather next in these cities. As you may guess, Philly has 4 distinct seasons being in the Northeast. Get a little bit of everything: rain, shine, snow, and a lot of heat. Summers here can be hot and humid sometimes, with temperatures often hitting the 80s and the 90s, but it's not that bad and it typically only lasts a few months. Winters here can get pretty cold and you'll see snow and temperatures dropping below freezing. However, with global warming or whatever, we haven't seen much snow, so it hasn't actually gotten that cold. This year in particular, 2024, at the end when I'm recording this, it has not been really a winter at all. So we don't even know if we're going to get snow. And we got a little bit, but like essentially nothing. We do have beautiful seasons in the spring and fall, some of the best seasons in my opinion in Pennsylvania or really anywhere in the Northeast. Really great to enjoy that type of weather. San Francisco has a whole different vibe when it comes to weather. It's got a mild, mostly temperate climate all year round. Summers are cool and often foggy, with temperatures rarely going past the mid-60s. So if you're expecting pleasant beach weather, you won't find that here typically in San Francisco. Winters are mild too, staying in the 50s, but it's definitely going to be wetter, so expect rain. The city is famous for its microclimate, so depending on where you are, you might get sun in one neighborhood and fog in the next. It's also worth noting that San Francisco sits near the San Andreas Fault, so while earthquakes aren't frequent, that is a natural part of life here in the Bay Area. So what's the difference? Well, Philly offers a more full experience of 4 distinct seasons, giving you everything from hot summers to snowy winters, which is great if you enjoy the variety throughout the year. On the other hand, San Francisco's mild and consistent temperatures provide you a more temperate, foggy climate year-round, ideal if that's what you're looking for to avoid extreme weather changes. But it's definitely not going to be anything like San Diego or certain parts of Florida where we're going to get nice warm weather all year round. So it just depends on what you're looking for. Now let's talk about the location benefits of these 2 particular cities. Philly's got a very prime spot on the East Coast here. It's close to major cities like New York City and DC, really just a 1.5 to 2 hour train ride on Amtrak or a very quick drive away, making it very convenient for business trips or weekend getaways, or even commuting to and fro if you need for work every day. If you're looking for a beach escape or some time to go to the mountains, the Jersey Shore or the Pocono Mountains here are both nearby, giving you plenty of options for quick, affordable trips outside of the city. San Francisco, on the other hand, is surrounded by natural beauty. It's really tough to beat. You've got iconic spots like the Golden Gate Bridge and the Pacific Ocean right there, plus national parks like Yosemite and the Sierra Nevada mountains within reach easily. It's really a dream for outdoor enthusiasts who want to access hiking, beaches, and scenic drive. It's also just a short drive from Silicon Valley, which is perfect for those in the tech industry looking to be closer to the action. And if you're into wine or change of scenery, you're not too far from Napa Valley, Big Sur, or Lake Tahoe, ideal for quick, diverse weekend getaways. So what's the difference here? Well, Philly's got the prime East Coast spot, giving you quick access to a ton of cities and a lot of people here, if that's important to you. Perfect for business and kicking back, as well to relax without the cost of a very expensive city. Now, San Francisco, if you're into nature and tech, it's a solid spot. So whether you want East Coast hustle with close proximity to getaways and things like that, or the West Coast's laid-back outdoor vibe, it really depends on what you're after. Now, if you want to see more Philadelphia neighborhoods to check out some really awesome areas in the city to live in, click this video right here and enjoy.